Vidya Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All Krishna Shri Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to our morning Bhagavatam class. This morning we will be discussing from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi-Lila, chapter 3, verses 67 through 69, and the chapter is entitled The External Reasons for the Appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We're very happy to have His Grace Vishnugada Prabhu with us. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Vanchakaptubhyascha, Kripasundabevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo.
Namo Namaha.
Jai. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu. And it's all yours, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Hare Bol.
We'll chant. Shall we chant something first? Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. In fact, my daughter got the Paramakaruna bhajan up ready.
Wow.
She knows you, Prabhu, pretty little bit.
So just to review, Srila Prabhupada usually when he gave class on Srimad Bhagavatam, he chanted, what did he chant?
Jai Radha Madhava?
Yeah, Jaya Radha Madhava. But when he spoke on Chaitanya Charitamrita, he usually sang this song. At least he did in Atlanta. He did in New York in 1976, Atlanta in 1975. So we're trying to follow. And he sang a tune. You can listen to it on prabhupadvani.org. That it's similar to the morning tune, but it's not exactly. It doesn't go down. The one to Hare Krishna, but this one doesn't go like down all the way. It continues. You'll see. And it was he chanted it with instead of the regular in a 2-beat, or really 3-4 beat. Parama Karuna Pahu Dvijan Nitai Gorachandra.
Parama Karuna Pahu Dvijan Nitai Gaurachandra.
Parama Karuna Pahu Dvijan Nitai Gaurachandra.
Parama Karuna Pahu Dvijana Nitai Gaurachandra.
Shababata Shar Shiramani Kevala Ananda Kanda.
Sabhavatar Shar Shiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda.
Bhajo Bhajo Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sudrita Vishvashakari.
Bhajo Bhajo Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sudrita Vishwasa Kori.
Vishaya Chariya Sera Se Majiya Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari.
Vishaya Chadiya Sera Se Majiya Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari.
Dekha Ore Bhai Tribhuvane Nai Emona Doyala Data.
Dekho Ore Bhai Tribhuvane Nai Emona Doyala Tata.
Pashupaki Jure Pashana Vidare Shruni Jar Gunagata.
Pashupaki Jure Pashana Vitare Suni Chandra Gunagata.
Sangsare Majia Rohili Podia Shepode no Hilo Asha.
Samsare Majia Rohili Poria Sepade nahi lasa.
Apana korama bhunjaye shamana kahoye lochandasa.
Apana karama bunjaya samana kaho ye lochana tasa.
Parama karuna pahu dvijan nitai gorachandra.
Parama karuna bahu dvijana nitai gaura chandra.
Parama karuna pahu dvijan nitai gorachandra.
Parama karuna bahu dvijana nitai gaura chandra.
Shab avatar shar shiramani kebala ananda kanda.
Sabhavata Shara Shiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paribrajak Acharya Ashtotara Sata Shishimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrind Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Stamaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glory to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Hari Hari Bol. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Shami Iti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirbishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. The song Padma Karuna, you know the translation. Padma Karuna Pahu Dvijan. This is, I think, important for you because your deities in Harrisburg are Nitai Gaurachandra, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
You don't have to put. I'm going to test you. Padma Karuna means, you know, what does Padma Karuna mean?
Karuna, I know it means merciful.
Yeah, and Parama. Parama.
Param is great.
Yeah, topmost, top,
Merciful.
best, best. Topmost. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, topmost. Topmost mercy. Who is the topmost? Pahu Dvijan. These two people. Jan. These people are, Pahu is Bengali for Prabhu. Prabhu, and so Prabhu becomes Pahu. Pahu, these two lords. Dvi means two. Dvijan. Who's that? Nitai
And Chaitanya.
Gaurachandra. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Shab, all, avatar, among all the avatars, Shad, they're the cream. Shad is the cream. Shruti Shad is Srimad Bhagavatam. Shruti Shad, cream. Shad, Shab avatar Shad, Shiramani. Shiramani means the crest jewel. Money is jewel and Shir is the head. Crown jewel, the crown jewel. Shir, Shad, Shiramani. Why? Kevala Ananda Kanda, because they're delivering a process of self-realization. Kevala Ananda Kanda, which is entirely blissful, Anand, blissfully done. Chanting Hare Krishna, dancing, singing, taking prasadam, hearing Chaitanya Charitamrita, associating with devotees, all these things. Yeah. Bhaja, bhaja, bhai. Oh, people, brothers. Chaitanya Nitai, all worship with Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. Sudridha Vishvas, with great determination and faith. Sudridha, very, very determination. Dridha, determination. Vishvas, faith. Bishaya Chadiya, give up selfish ideas, selfish thoughts. Bisha, Sera se majia, and absorb yourself. Absorb yourself. Sera se majia means to absorb or get involved in deeply. Sera se majia. Mukhe bolo hari hari, and with your mouth, mukhe bolo, chant hari hari, hari hari. Okay, that's the first two lines. Deca, just see. In Spanish, you'd say mira, mira, but this is Bengali. Deca, just see. Deca ore bhai, oh brothers. Three bhuvanenai, in the three worlds, upper, middle, lower planetary systems, you won't find nai, not you won't. Emono doyalo data. Anybody is merciful. Daya means mercy. It's giving such mercy. Nobody giving such mercy. Pashu. What is a pashu? Pashu. What's pashu?
Bird.
No. There's a demigod named Pashupati. Pashupati. Who's that? Pashupati is the name of Lord Shiva. Pashu. The Lord Shiva's the Lord of the animals. Pashupati. Pashu. Then Paki is what you're saying. That's birds. Pashupaki. Jure. They're crying. Pashana, stones. Vidare, they're melting. Shuni Jar Gunagata, just by hearing his glories. Shuni Jar Guna, his qualities, his transcendental qualities. This is Narottam, Lochan Das Thakur. Okay. There's one more. Next time we'll chant we'll translate the last lines. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 As mentioned, we're continuing to read, study, and discuss the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Here we are in chapter 3, the external reasons for the appearance of the Lord, and at check number 67, 68, and 69. Angopangashtra kare swakarya shadhan anga shabdera artha arshuna diyaman. Do you chant these responsibly? I forget.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Angopanga ashtakare swakarya shadhan anga shabdera artha arshuna diyaman. Angopanga ashtakare swakarya shadhan anga shabdher artha arshuna diyaman. You're welcome to chant if you like.
Gonna see, Prikshit was gonna go. Okay. Angopanga Astra Karisva Karya Sadhan Anga Sabdera Artha Arashunya Diyamana.
Angupanga Ashakariswa Karya Sadana Anga Sakti Shaptira Arta Arasuna Diyamana. Sri Krishna.
Anybody else? There we go.
Angu Panga Akshakare Swakarya Sadhana Anga Shabadera Artha Arasuna Diyamana.
Good. Thank you, dear Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Just a little hint here about in Bengali. Some of the verses in Chaitanya Charitamrita are Sanskrit, but this verse is in Bengali, and I think I mentioned probably before that when speaking in the Bengali language, on the S's are almost always pronounced like SH. Shakariya, Shadhan, almost always. A little bit harder, even if they don't have that slash over it or the dot under the S. That's why, it's you say, a lot of devotees say prashadam. Have you ever heard that? Even though there's no dot or slash, it's because that's a Bengali pronunciation. If you ever hear a Bengali person speak, I don't know if there are any on the call, but that's sha. Like Srila Prabhupada, if you know, there were 6 famous disciples of Lord Chaitanya who excavated the places of pilgrimage in Vrindavan and compiled literature and wrote books explaining the truths of devotional service, taking them from various Vedic scriptures, and they were known as the 6 what?
The 6 Goswamis.
And have you said it in Bengali? How would you say it?
Goswami? Yeah, I've heard that. before.
Goswamis. Goswami.
That's right. That's it. If you hear Srila Prabhupada speak, it say 6 Goswamis. We're not trying to imitate. We're not, but no, that's how the Bengali pronunciation is. And so anyway, these are like little details, and Krishna knows your purpose in speaking. And but at the same time, that's called Bhava Grahi Janardana. Krishna knows your intention. But at the same time, after we've been around a little while, it's interesting. It's important to know how to actually say it. Does that make sense?
So, Prabhu, even though the word Goswami has SW, but it still pronounces Goswami.
That's and if you speak it, if you're doing it in Bengali, I mean, it's a Sanskrit word too. But I'm just pointing at Goswami. Yeah, that's what the Bengali pronunciation. That if you listen to Srila Prabhupada, I always wondered what's going on here. What's going on here? A lot of things in Bengali is like, when you in the word Chaitanya, we say, if you say Sanskrit, you pronounce the Y, Chaitanya, right? But in the Bengali pronunciation, if you listen, you don't pronounce the Y.
Yeah.
You hold on to the N a longer time. And you'll hear Srila Prabhupada talk like that. Chaitanya, right? You don't hear the Y. It is Chaitanya. So sometimes you'll hear devotees like, trying to imitate, they say Chaitanya. Have you heard that? Chaitanya. But it's actually Bengali Chaitanya. Hold on to the N. Don't say the Y. Nityananda. Of course, you can pronounce it the Sanskrit way, Chaitanya, and Nityananda. That's the Sanskrit way, but Bengali is Chaitanya, Nityananda. Okay, I mean little tiny things, but it practices to hear. We are reading in a purport yesterday that Srila Prabhupada encouraged us to be expert in hearing. So that means we're hearing all the details. And like when you chant your japa, sometimes Srila Prabhupada would criticize that there's kind of a whooshing sound. So because he emphasized that it should be pronounced, the words of the Hare Krishna mantra should be pronounced clearly and audibly. And sometimes in our inattention or in our haste, I know for me it happens all the time, that I don't pronounce them clearly. And of course, I know what I'm trying to pronounce, but I don't always accomplish it properly. So the progress in devotional service, Krishna will see our sincerity, but our intention, but also our sincerity in trying to pronounce the words of the Hare Krishna mantra clearly, distinctly, with so that it's the actual mantra. All right. Anga Upanga, plenary parts and associates. Ashtra, weapons. Kore, do. Shakarya, of their own business. Shadan, as the accomplishment. Anga Shabder, of the word Anga. Artha, the meaning. Ad, another. Shun, please hear. Diya, giving. Mun, mind, the mind. Translation. His plenary parts and associates perform the work of weapons as their own specific duties. Please hear from me another meaning of the word anga. Okay, and that's the next one, right? Anga shabde angsha kahe shastra paraman angir avyay upanga vyakyan. According to the evidence of the revealed scriptures, a bodily limb, anga, is also called a part, angsha, and a part of a limb is called a partial part, upanga. Okay, next. This is Sanskrit, I think. Narayanastvang nahi sarvadehinam atmasyadhisha kila lokashakshi Narayanongam narabhu jalayanat tachchapi satyam natavaiva maya. O Lord of Lords, you are the seer of all creation. You are indeed everyone's dearest life. Are you not, therefore, my father Narayan? Narayan refers to one whose abode is in the water, born from Nara, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And that Narayan is your plenary portion. All your plenary portions are transcendental. They are absolute and not creations of Maya. Purport. This text was spoken to Lord Krishna by Brahma in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 14th chapter, 14th verse. Any idea what pastime was occurring when Lord Brahma spoke this verse?
Has to do with the cowherd boys and the cows that Lord Brahma stole.
Yes, very good. The Brahma Bimohan Lila, that Lord Brahma became completely bewildered after testing Lord Krishna's potency there. Then next one. Was this, was that was the last one? That was the one I was supposed to speak on. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Okay. A little purport here. So I'd like to take permission from the devotees and the senior devotees particularly, who are senior in age or advancement in Krishna consciousness.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Shayam Rupa Gatah Maikyam Dadati Shapandantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaud Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. These verses, and in this series of verses, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is speaking, defining, describing further the words Anga and Upanga. Anga and Upanga, giving evidence from revealed scriptures. That's our method in speaking in learned circles and in Krishna consciousness. We don't just make up stuff. We endeavor to cite Vedic scriptural authority to back up what we're saying. Because otherwise, how does the audience know what you're saying has any value? So this is a really good rule to follow as much as possible to back up what you're saying, but what we should try to back up what we're saying by scriptural injunction, as Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is doing here. And also, as Srila Prabhupada mentions many times, we'll see that. Well, sometimes if we say something a little bit obscure, then somebody will say, well, hey, what about, where did you get that from? And you might be put on your defensive. Does that ever happen? It does happen to me. Just the other day in the class in Philadelphia, devotee was giving class talking about the universal form. And he was describing he said that there were two different types of universal forms. So I asked him, well, where did that come from? Well, he was talking about there's the universal form that's mentioned in the scriptures and the universal form that's displayed by Lord Krishna to Mother Yashoda, to the Arjuna on the Battle of Kurukshetra, and also in the assembly house in Hastinapur. So I asked him, well, why do you say that? Well, he said, well, the ones in you read about, like the clouds or the hair on his head, the trees and grasses are the hairs on his body of the universal form. You know these things? The ocean is like his belly. The rivers are like his veins. This is a description given in Srimad Bhagavatam. But you don't get scared from that, do you? But when people see the universal form, when Arjuna saw the universal form, he was shocked. It was overwhelming. So he was saying that shows that there's two kinds of universal forms. So what do you think?
Doesn't the universal form that's described in the Shastra contain everything, and the universal form showed to Arjuna also contain everything?
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking. So then they can't be different.
Yeah. So, but he emphasized it was different because of the one's reaction to it. So I just questioned whether that was there was any evidence from the acharyas that said that, and he had to admit he couldn't come out. He didn't know any. So so where's this? So anyway, we have to be careful. So then I suggested, I don't know, I don't know, but it could be that, like, if you read in your book about an elephant, you may not get scared, or a lion, you may not get scared, but if you actually meet a lion walking along the path, you're going to get perhaps, if you're not completely transcendental to bodily danger, might get scared. Same lion, right? One is, you follow? So anyway,
Because Prabhu, I mean,
Yeah.
different people react differently on what they see, but does that conclude that it's different? I mean, it's
yeah,
separate.
that's what I'm saying. That's so
Yeah.
if you actually see it in your experience, then you'll be afraid. And reading about a lion in a book, usually, I mean, usually you don't get afraid. Do you? I don't know. Maybe a kid would in a story. Uh Parikshit Prabhu.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's scary, but if you hear them roar, that alone is scary.
Yes, so it's the certain Brett Prabhu talks about an example and a precept. Yeah, both. So when it's actually applied, actually, if it's realized in front of you, this universal form. So anyway, that I was just giving that as an example that one has to be a little bit cautious when, or a lot cautious when speaking, that as Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami here is talking about the angas, what is an anga, and then he's giving a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam to describe what is anga, as a plenary portion, as Narayan, the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, is a plenary portion of Lord Krishna, plenary portion of a plenary portion, actually. So just giving that example. So where is this talk? Why are we focusing on angas anyway? What does the anga have to do with anything? Go ahead.
That the different parts are like weapons for specific purposes.
Where's this reference coming from?
It's the text, the earlier text.
Yeah, which is?
Don't know the title right now. I mean,
Okay, that's okay. I won't put you on too much.
Two
But
texts back, I think.
there's quite a long description, a long discussion about that. It's actually about 20 verses back, about this very important verse from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where the Navayogendras, 9
Okay.
sages, liberated sages, have come to the palace in the court of Maharaj Nimi, and Maharaj Nimi is asking them to tell him about the different incarnations, avatars in the different yugas. So he describes them, and then they specifically ask him, well, what about Kali Yuga? Kali Yuga, what about Kali Yuga? You haven't described in detail specifically. So then Karabhajana Muni, one of those, you know who those munis are? They're the 9 sages. Yeah, Karabhajana Muni. He
Sons
says,
of Maharaj Rishabhdev.
yes, sons of Rishabdev.
Mm.
So Karabhajana Muni then says, Krishna Varanam, very important verse, Tvish Akrishnam, Sango Pangashtra Parshadam, Jagyar Sankirtana Prayar, Yajantihi Sumedhasa. So this verse was cited in many places, but at the beginning of Lord Chaitanya's sannyas pastimes, he went to Puri just 1 month after he arrived there, about a month after he took sannyas, after bidding farewell to his associates and mother at Shantipur, the house of Advaita Prabhu. And he came to Puri, and at Puri, he saw Lord Jagannath and fainted in ecstasy. And he was brought to the home of the Raj Pandit in Puri of the name Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma was a very famous scholar, but he was primarily teaching information in the impersonalist way. He had many, many, many disciples and followers. So anyway, seeing the beauty of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is more beautiful than everybody else, anyone else, all other people, isn't it? And that got Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya thinking, well, he's this very young and beautiful sannyasi. How will he be able to maintain his vows of renunciation? Because that beauty is so attractive, it's attracting the whole universe, and it's attracting me also. So I better teach him some, get him fixed up in Vedanta knowledge. So Gopinath Acharya, who was with him, it was his wife's brother, who was from Navadvip. He heard that and he was unhappy because he says, you can't teach Lord Chaitanya anything because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's not subject to fall down as an ordinary person might like that. So Sarvabhauma and his disciples challenged. He said, oh, you're saying is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the Shastras say there's no incarnation in Kali Yuga. The Lord appears only in 3 yugas, 3 yuga avatar, not in Kali Yuga. So then Gopinath Acharya quoted that same verse. Krishna Varnam, Krisha Krishnam, Sangopangashta Parshadam, Jagyara Sankirtana Praya, Yajantihi Sumedhasa. In the Kali Yuga, no, the Lord does appear. But then he quoted another verse from Srimad Bhagavatam by Prahlad Maharaj that he appears in a covered form. He appears not as the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly, but as his devotee. So he quoted that verse very strongly. So we should really appreciate and understand the verse. This is the verse explaining Lord Krishna's appearance as Lord Chaitanya in this age. There's several other verses, but this is the first one generally quoted. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, for our benefit, is going through it and explaining all the different parts. And we've already read some of the purports describing some of the details of this verse. So if you remember, we could just review briefly. Krishna Varanam, talking about Lord Chaitanya, Krishna Varanam. In Sanskrit, you can interpret things in a variety of ways, and the acharyas do that. So in the first 2 words, Krishna Varanam, have multiple meanings. So what the Krishna, you remember some of those 2 meanings? Krishna Varanam. You know the word Varana? What is Varana? Varana. Sure. What's Varanashram? Varana, like Varnashram, Varna. Varna means caste or category. There's Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. They're categories, and it's the Indian system and the Vedic system is everything is categorized. There's 10 of these and 5 of these and 3 of these, isn't it? So there's different categories of beings, and there's the expansions and incarnations, but this avatar is in the same category as Krishna, the original personality of Godhead, Krishna Varnam. That's one meaning of Krishna. He's in that category, the same category as the original personality of Godhead. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a long list of incarnations in the 3rd chapter, and then the verse spoken at the end of that list is Ete Chang Sakala Pumsam Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. All these previously mentioned avatars are portions or plenary portions of the Supreme Lord, but Krishna is that Godhead, Supreme Godhead himself. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. He's And in Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma also reinforces Ramadi Murti Shukalani Yamena Tishtanna Nabataram Akarot Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Paramapumanyo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. All these avatars, Ram, Shingha, Baraha, Ramadi Murtishu, they're all portions or portions of portions. But Krishna himself appears also. So Krishna Varanam means he's in the category of that original personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya, not different. And if you take it that instead of a adjective, you take it as a verb, Krishna Varanam, or Varanam means he's always speaking. Varanayati is a verb. Varanayati meaning chanting, talking about. He's always talking about Krishna Varanam. He's always, wherever he goes, people are saying Krishna, right from the very beginning, when he appeared, the dark moon, on the full moon, when it was just before the eclipse, he appeared, and everybody was chanting Krishna. He's saying Krishna, and he's getting people to say Krishna. He's inducing people to say Krishna. That's Krishna Varanam. And then Tvish means body. Akrishnam. But not Krishna is dark, Shyam. But Akrishna means his body was golden, not blackish, but golden. It's kind of the opposite of dark is golden, light, like beautiful golden form. So Krishna, Gosham, Gaura Chandra, Tvish Akrishnam. Then we get to these angas. Second line in that verse, Sangopangashtra Parshadam. Sa is along with anga, his portions, and upanga, his part of the portion, upa. Just like you have Indra. Indra is the demigod in charge of the weather, right? And there's also Upendra. Who's Upendra?
I think that's one of the brothers.
Yeah, the little brother. The little brother of Indra is Vamandev, although he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he appeared as the younger brother, the little brother in that sense, of Indra, and that's Vamanadev. So Anga and Upanga, along with Angas, Upanga is the other portions, or smaller portions, because we have the full portions are like Nityananda and Advaita Prabhu, they're full portions, right? And then the Upangas, other portions, Gadadhar, Srivas, and so then the Anga Upanga Parshadam, Upangashta Parshadam. And as mentioned here, those associates are his weapons. When Lord Krishna came, he had many weapons. What were some of the weapons that Lord Krishna had?
Darshan Chakra.
Chakra, that was his most famous. Chakra. But any other weapons that he had?
Gada.
What was his gada called?
I don't know. I forgot.
That's for Vishnu, isn't it?
Gada is you're using a Vishnugada, right? That's the Vishnu's club. But Kaumadaki, isn't it? Kaumadaki was
Okay.
Krishna's club. Yeah. So and then he has his bow, Sharanga bow. He had all these different different weapons that he used. And what did he use them for? He used them to kill the demons. Paritranaya shadhunam vinashaya tadushkritam. Yeah, he used those weapons to deal with the demons as ashtas. And it's very interesting that if you examine the horoscopes of Lord Krishna and compare it to the horoscopes of Lord Chaitanya, you'll find in the horoscope of Lord Krishna a strong emphasis on getting rid of demons, killing demons. You find it in this is dealing with the enemies. That's the sixth house. Yeah, it's very, very, very strong. And of course, Lord Krishna did other things. He spoke Bhagavad Gita. He had his association with Sudama, etc. But a lot of his time, so much of his time during his appearance was dealing with demons and getting rid the earth of demons. A big deal. How did he do that? Usually by killing them. Not always, but usually punishing them, killing them with his ashtas, his chakra, and other things. Ashtra. But in Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya, his ashtas mentioned here are his associates, and they help him and assist him in propagating the Sankirtan movement, which is very wonderfully killing the demonic desires and interests in the hearts of everybody. So they don't kill outright, because if he killed outright, then practically everybody would be finished. But he's so expertly, along with his associates, destroying the material enjoyment seed, the demon-like desires that in the heart, and then how does he do that along with his associates? Jagyaya Sankirtana Praya, by spreading this Sankirtan movement, the Hare Krishna movement, because just by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then people's demon-like desires become cleansed, and they no longer are demons, even though previously they might have been demons. When Lord Krishna appeared, right off the bat, immediately when he appeared, demons were after him, isn't it? Immediately, right after, just like the same month he appeared, Putana came, right? She was there, ready to get him. Demons come, and Lord Chaitanya and Krishna killed Putana, not just for himself, but because Putana had killed many babies under the order of Kamsa. That was his thing. It's her thing. She was a pishacha, kechari, witch. So there are also witches, whether you believe in witches or not, according to the Vedic system, they're witches. There are many witches, But what do we do in Kali Yuga to address the witches? We don't burn them at the stake. What do? We encourage them, chant Hare Krishna. Come on, chant Hare Krishna, and that will be purifying for your consciousness. It'll help you free yourself from mundane, dark conceptions. So, Jagyar Sankirtana Praya. He used that weapon of the Sankirtan with his associates. Yajanti hi sumedhasa. And by doing that, smart people, Medha means those intelligence, and Sumedha means very intelligent people, will do that, following the instruction and encouragement of Lord Chaitanya, Gaurasundar, and his associates, expansions, and servants and friends. So in this case, this Anga and Upanga are equated with his like weapons. Krishna has weapons, and Lord Chaitanya has weapons. His associates are his weapons. Srila Jiva Goswami, in addition to that understanding of the word Ashtra, also says that this Ashtra, the Ashtra of Lord Chaitanya, is his supreme beauty. Is that interesting? Not contradicting this other understanding of Ashtra, but in addition to that, Lord Chaitanya's incredible beauty made everybody who saw him become free from their false ego, conceptions, and initially and immediately wanting to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. So that also was his weapon, his wonderful beauty. So these are some of the meanings of this anga, upanga, coming from the verse Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sangupanga Ashtapashanam. Because this is called the external meaning reasons for Lord Chaitanya's appearance. And the verse kind of capturing this full idea of Lord Chaitanya's delivering the souls in Kali Yuga. But it's even more wonderful than that, because Rupa Goswami, he said, which you might remember this was, Anarpita charim chirat karunayavatirna kalo anut samarpiyetam unutojvalarasham shabhakti shriya. He said, this Lord Chaitanya, in coming in Kali Yuga, he's delivering something that practically no other incarnation has given, or nobody in a long time has given. Chiram chira. Chiranjiva. What's a chiranjiva? Somebody who lives a huge long time. So in a long time, anarpita, not given. Chiram chira, not given a long time. What is that? Lord Chaitanya's mercy, karunayavatirna in Kala, he's coming in Kali Yuga. Samarpayitam unutojvalasham. This most elevated. It's not just regular bhakti, but the most elevated bhakti that's practiced in Goloka Vrindavan. No, we're not just talking about the bhakti in Vaikuntha. We're talking about the bhakti that's exhibited by the residents of Vrindavan, particularly the cowherd boys, but more than that, Mother Jashoda, and that kind of bhakti by his parents, Vatsalya Ras, and the gopis. He's giving that to anybody who will take it. Sada Hridaya Kandare Spurato Vasa Chinandana. So in the beginning of this chapter, that verse is explained or described, because Krishnadas Kaviraj is giving you and I, the readers, the benediction that Lord Chaitanya, who's giving that love of Krishna Prema, but not just any kind of Krishna Prema, that's experienced and practiced by the residents of Vrindavan. May that Lord Chaitanya reside in the core of all your hearts and manifest wonderfully, so that you get the full benediction of Lord Chaitanya's teachings, presence, and devotional service. So that Krishna consciousness is a wonderful opportunity for us. It's being delivered to us in the disciplic succession. Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, and your gurus to you today. We're very happy that we have that opportunity. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for such a sweet class. Actually, this, it's always nice to hear your class, because it becomes so interactive. And I think I've said that before. I feel like a broken record, that we, it makes us get so involved and want to know whether we got the answer right or wrong. So I like it. I really like it. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Are there any questions from devotees? Any clarification that you would like to ask please, you can either raise your hand or you can just jump right in. Prabhu, I was just curious when you mentioned that in Lord Krishna's horoscope, one of the, I think the ruling house or strong house was killing the demons. And I was wondering if there was something like that, which was the ruling house in Lord Chaitanya's horoscope. I'm just curious.
Yeah, he doesn't kill demons. He teaches his you know, there's a in the what do you call that? Dandavats.com, or if you search online for an interpretation of Lord Chaitanya's horoscope, you'll find a few of them by devotee astrologers, and they're quite interesting. It's not by the acharyas, but it's they're consistent with the teachings of the acharyas, you'll find. So Lord Chaitanya, although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he didn't write many literatures or books. Of course, neither did Krishna, but sometimes people might criticize, oh, if he's God, why didn't he leave more literature? Well, he did, but he did it through his associates, his disciples. Unbelievable devotional grunts given by Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Goswami, everybody. They had, and many of his followers. But Lord Chaitanya himself did not give. He only gave 8 verses, Shikshastakam, and of course, the teachings in Chaitanya Charitamrita are the basis for many of the books written by the 6 Goswamis, but he gave that verbally to Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami, etc. So that's reflected in Lord Chaitanya's horoscope. He has Mercury in the Pisces, which is not a strong position. It's just very interesting. Mercury usually is literary production and stuff like that. Well, those are interesting things. He's the rising sign for Lord Chaitanya was Singha Rashi, Singha Lagna. So the moon was in Leo, Singha means Leo, and the rising sign was also Leo. So he's a double lion. So he has a lion-like voice, a lion-like countenance. That's Lord Chaitanya. So these things are reflected there. But even though he was a lion, he didn't tear apart people, but he delivered them Krishna consciousness, as teaching is very strong. Teaching is very strong in Lord Chaitanya's horoscope. But Krishna also, of course, is the supreme teacher, but his function at that incarnation was a lot of getting rid of the bad politicians.
Thank you, Prabhu. I was just curious, but as you were explaining about Lord Chaitanya's where he had the rising sun as the Leo, but he didn't do anything like the Leo would, like a lion personality would do. But it appears that his loving touch and glances was so strong, like a lion. So his teachings was, he had
They're
that.
powerful teachings, yes.
Yes, that was what's coming to my mind. Thank you, Prabhu. Any other questions from devotees? Anything that's coming that you would like to clarify, you would like to ask? Please do raise your hand. I'm just going down the list because I have it in the bottom here. Okay, if there isn't, thank you so much, Prabhu, for such a really sweet class, and thank you for always connecting Chaitanya Charitamrita with our deities in the temple. It really, really helps us to connect and be more dedicated to Nitai Gaurachandra. And thank you to all who have joined us. Vancha Kaptubhyascha, Kripasindubevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Haribol.